Hey,
Hello.
girl. Good to see you.
It's so good to see you too.
How have you been?
I've been good. I'm
Busy.
yes, very busy. I'm a senior now at SAGU, so I'm about to graduate in the spring. It's crazy.
Can you believe it?
It's crazy. And Virginia Lee saw Matt in Springfield.
You know what? He told me. He said that, and I was like, "Oh, we were talking. Must have been last weekend." And he mentioned that. I was like, "Oh my gosh, she went under for a regular appointment, right?"
Right, right.
Wow, that's so cool. Her and then this other girl. I don't know if you know Katie Cannon. She's in Indonesia. She too went for I don't know if it was the same. It might have been before
Mhm.
Virginia Lee, but anyway, she just got full appointment too. I'm just like,
That's
oh
so
my gosh,
cool.
these girls are so good.
Yes, ma'am.
I
Well,
follow her on Facebook. I try to read and kind of keep up with what's going
mhm.
on with her. So
Mhm.
you guys all got together as a family too, right? While she's here.
We did, we did. I actually had my junior night of worship, and so which is like part of my degree, and she got to come because she was in the states, which was awesome.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yes, ma'am.
So do you know what you're gonna do yet after graduation? You got some ideas?
Uh, Not really. I'm still praying about it. Uh, I mean, there are a couple ideas rolling around, but I'm just not sure yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, but thank you so much for being willing to do this.
Oh, I was glad to. Yeah, it worked out. Today is actually a holiday. It's all, which is why with actually the 31st is Halloween, blah blah blah. But it's based on All Saints Day,
Mhm.
and so today is actually All Saints Day. So that's when people. It's a national holiday here, so nobody's. The schools are closed and the stores are closed. Well, most of the stores are closed, and supposedly people go to visit their loved ones and take flowers to the cemetery. Yesterday, I happened to drive by the cemetery here in town, and it was pretty full. So I guess today was
Wow.
probably full, and people just go and visit and be with family. So we've been home all day, which is good. We One of the things we had asked the Lord for this year in school was just more of an emphasis at the seminary for kids ministry and for missions.
Mhm.
And so starting tomorrow, we have our first. It's a missions congress for kids. The
Wow,
church
that's
invited
awesome.
us. They have a big missions convention every year, and they said, "Could you come and do the same thing, like but with the kids?" And we're like, "Well, that's exactly what we were praying for." And so we've got 3 students going with us,
That's
and
so
they're
cool.
pretty much doing the work. And then earlier this week, another church asked us to come the 1st of December. So it's like, yes, Lord. It's like we not only get to work with kids, but we get to work with kids in mission. So,
Mhm.
and one of the girls that's going with us, she does sign language, and so she's like, "Oh, but it's not just 2 things, too." She said it's 3 because I get to do sign language. She's going to teach the kids a song. So
That's so
we're pretty
cool.
excited. So tomorrow after lunch, we'll go out of town for about 3 days, but
Mhm.
it'll be good. It'll be hopefully.
Yes.
We've been planning a lot, so hopefully it'll all fall in place. But anyway,
Yes.
so now
So,
what is this for? Is this for a class?
yes,
House
ma'am.
this interview or?
This is for a class. It's my leadership and ministry class. I've had to interview several leaders, um, and yeah, and then I just have to like present the interview to my professor.
Cool.
So I guess my first question would be just you've obviously been a missionary for a very long time, and uh,
30 years.
yes, I saw that. I saw that. First to Honduras and then to Spain. So what is your current role right now in Spain?
Right now, we're professors at the Spain Assemblies of God Seminary. That's one of our jobs, and we also are directors of a Europe-wide ministry called Europe's Children.
Mm-hmm.
That we were asked to take that over last year, and we're also in leadership here. I'm the treasurer, and Steve is the field moderator for the Spain missionary body. There's about 30 between 35 and 40 units on
Oh,
this
wow.
field. Let's see. I guess that's and we do help with a local church. We are real involved
Mm-hmm.
in coordinating like the kids ministry, and we have students that go there, so we help coordinate the students from the seminary that go out to that particular school.
Oh,
So just a
wow.
little this, a little that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So going back to your move from Honduras to Spain, from that experience, what advice can you give to those in leadership who are like going through a transition?
I think for us, at least for me, it was a very hard move. It was one that if we had not known that God was calling us, we would never have left. Yes, and I still get emotional because I loved Honduras, still do. But I think just being open to know that whatever, wherever He calls, there's a purpose. And I can see, when we first got to Spain, we didn't know. We knew like two people in this whole country, and we didn't know any of the leadership, and you were just really starting at zero. But you have
Mm-hmm.
to think it's not about us, it's about whatever. There must be a purpose that God can see that we can't see. And we were very upfront with our kids, from the very beginning. We talked to them because we knew Matthew would be the only one that would be coming with us.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we got here, we started at zero, but we had to know that, Lord, if you brought us here and it has to do with kids ministry, you're going to open up a door. I think just being persistent, and especially in this country and probably a lot of Europe, things just go so much slower. Like you can come in and say, I want to do this and that, and they just look at you and just kind of shake their head like that,
Mm-hmm.
And we went to the superintendent of the Assemblies of God here within the first month, and shared our vision about wanting to work with kids in an apartment, and it wasn't until actually this year in February they approved an apartment, a children's department for the Assemblies of God.
Wow.
And this was 9 years after we got here. Not that it was all dependent on us, but that's how slow it just like was forever. And
Mm-hmm.
hopefully now there'll be a little more, and Steve is on the committee, there'll be more progression
Mm-hmm.
toward kids ministry. And we have seen, like, they had a Skype yesterday, and you can see that there are things that they're starting to move again. It just takes so much longer for things to get going.
Mm-hmm.
But that was probably one thing. Another thing that was really essential for us was we promoted missions in King's Castle always from the
Mm-hmm.
first day.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of our fundamentals, and we told the kids that we were actually a product of what we've been preaching. That if God had called us, that that we were going to be faithful, and that they had to be faithful.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 weeks ago, when they had the World Missions Congress, was actually here in Madrid,
Mm-hmm.
we got to see a lot of Honduran Castle kids, and they're in Macedonia, they're in Tunisia,
Uh-huh.
one of them is going to Budapest in
Wow.
Hungary. Another one is in Nicaragua. And another one that wasn't here, she's in Egypt, and another one just got here to Spain. And to see them, that was just so encouraging, because those kids were product of Castle Ministry, and I think that those seeds of missions was planted in their heart
Mm-hmm.
years ago, and finally people are starting to kind of move
Right.
out.
Right. That's awesome. Well, you were right there kind of at the start of King's Castle, right?
We started it in Honduras. Don Triplett had just began starting Castle in 1989, and we actually had got to Costa Rica for language school, and he started it there in
Mm-hmm.
88, 89. And then when his wife graduated from language school in 89, they went to to Salvador, and started it. And when we
Okay.
got to Honduras in 90, we had asked, could we do that in Honduras? And he was, of course, was open to that. So
Mm-hmm.
we started it when we got there in 90 with a group of young people from a local church, a
Mm-hmm.
great group of young people from a local church.
Mm-hmm. So can you kind of like go through that process of like having that dream of seeing that take place in Honduras and like how it actually came to be?
Well, we didn't. When we knew that we wanted to work with kids, and we knew we wanted to be in Honduras. We felt like that was the Lord had opened that door and we'd had an invitation, but how we had no clue.
Mm-hmm.
We really didn't know, and we didn't have a whole lot of experience in kids ministry. Steve had worked with Brother Jim at the church,
Mm-hmm.
and had seen him, and I'd worked in just teaching Sunday school and helping in bus ministry while I was in college, and then I went as an intern to Africa one summer and worked with kids, but to say like we'd been kids pastors and we had all this experience, we didn't have any. We really didn't have experience. We went as missionaries in training. So when we got to language school and we saw what that Don Triplett was trying to promote, this
Mm-hmm.
kids ministry thing, we thought, well, maybe we could do that. So since we were missionary trainings, we worked under another missionary, and we went to him, and what he did was he opened the door for us to work in the Latin American child care schools because
Mm-hmm.
he was the director at the time, which I think it's now called. It's called. It's not called that. They've changed the name of that. Something
Mm-hmm.
Hope, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Child or One Child or something. Anyway, so we worked with kids ministry in the local in the LACC schools, but we started forming those groups, and we did call them Castle,
Mm-hmm.
and just started training throughout. And then when we came back as full appointed, I mean, things really began to move forward. What we did is we started, at the local church level.
Mm-hmm.
We trained the young people to work
Mm-hmm.
with the kids, and then we were blessed with some of the, I mean, just incredible Hondurans that worked with us. And some of them are still on staff there now, but
Wow.
they were so committed to that ministry and so committed to really ministering to kids. So I think the most important thing was just, we always say that we built slow, but we tried to build on a firm foundation. We
Mm-hmm.
tried to just, we kind of, I think part of our thing is just trying to be kind of like, spiritual mentors, and just love on people and let them know
Yeah.
that they're wanted, and try to take time with everybody. And I think because of that, they felt loved, and what they were doing was profitable. And
Mm-hmm.
God just began to multiply, one team, and then they started forming. I mean, we had a board, and we just started forming like departments where we
Right.
had people overseeing it. It just continued to grow, and of course, then we built the camp, and
Mm-hmm.
that just exploded into different meetings. But a lot of it, the Lord gave us insight, but a lot of it, I think, was just having some good Honduran leadership.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So you said that you didn't really have a lot of children's ministry experience. So what is one thing that you wish someone had told you when you first became a missionary, when you first entered that realm of leadership?
I think, what happened too for us, at least because we were MITs and we did have a missionary over us, when we got to the country, there was one other missionary in the capital who
Mm-hmm.
was our mentor, and within about 3 months they left. They left
Wow.
the field, so we were the only ones there. And I think it would have been good, and maybe people said it, we just weren't aware that we the good thing was we didn't have anyone else, so we all of our friends were Hondurans.
Mm-hmm.
But then the bad thing was, I think, as a woman, at least for me, was not having a girl unit,
Mm-hmm.
girls that I could share my life with. And the Lord opened up for me after the first year. I found out about an English speaking women's Bible study,
Oh,
and
wow.
I got very involved in it. So every week I was with this group of women. So for me, I needed that. I mean, I think a lot of us go into missions thinking that we're going to work with nationals, and this
Mm-hmm.
is everything. But I think you're still American, and you still need that that, at least for women, you
Mm-hmm.
need that woman. You need that woman's
Right.
touch. You need
Right.
friendship.
Right. Oh. we go.
It's probably our wonderful internet here. Seriously.
So the last thing I heard
So
you.
we have an Apple TV. Sometimes we can't even watch it because the connection is so bad.
So the last thing I heard you say was just like the need to have women around you and stuff.
I do, yeah. That for me at least, it was important. Maybe for guys, it's not, but for me, it was important to have friendships.
Um, so then kind of along with that, like, what do you do to maintain a healthy personal life, like your relationship with God, and not being like just about ministry, but having that personal time and your relationship with your family and stuff?
Well, for me, I've always been an early morning person. So I get up early, usually anywhere between 5 and 6, and I have my quiet time. And kind of going back again to that, the women's thing, I got involved in a Bible study. Even in Evangel, I always went to those Beth Nice things. And so when I got here, actually, I started looking and I found a group of ladies that did do, and I prefer to do it in my first language. So I did a couple of times did a study together with some ladies in Madrid. And when I got here at the seminary, there's another missionary she's from Puerto Rico who speaks, of course, really good English. And so she and I have done a study together, and right now we're starting another study. So that is good for me because I feel like I like to have a study going, something that encourages me to go beyond my daily devotional time. And as far as family, we've had that issue with the older kids, but thank the Lord, it is getting better. In fact, I just got a message a while ago from Rachel. Now, all of hers has to do with this dog thing that she's got going on, but at least there's a communication.
Yes.
But we just, try. So those older two are not interested in spiritual things, and also we don't even bring it up with them. But with Matt, of course, he's serving the Lord, and he's doing really well, and we try to challenge him spiritually. He's always very appreciative and kind, and he asks, asks questions. So we try to maintain that because being so far away and all the kids being in 3 distinct areas, I know you can relate to that.
Yes, ma'am.
Makes it a little more challenging, but I think just trying to be consistent. Of course, praying. We pray a lot every day for them, and those that need to seek the Lord, and of course Matthew, that he'll follow God's leading wherever that might be.
Right.
He'll finish his master's in May.
That's crazy.
I know, it is crazy. He finished. He did university in 3 years. He graduated early, but but he's doing this online course, and he's going to be graduating in Prague. So we will get to go. We'll fly over to Prague. Yeah, and I think Rachel's planning to come too. So that'll be a fun time together.
What is he getting his master's in?
Is International Community Development.
Okay, cool.
We'll see what he does with that. I don't know. His major was his undergrad was in film and broadcasting.
Oh.
I don't know why but anyway, that was his choice, and he liked it. The church he's working at. He is I mean, that is his ministry there. He helps with the cameras. They take their services. So, and maybe at some point the Lord will use that wherever he ends up at.
Does he know what he wants to do with his life?
He says that he would like. I really believe that he'll be overseas. I don't know that he'll be in mission. I don't know that he wants to go through the process to raise funds, but I believe he wants to work, especially with this community development, maybe with an ONG, or I don't really know. And he started dating this girl, but he saw her. She lives in Wales, so she's an MK. So, but she'll start her undergrad when he graduates with his master's, and she wants to be a teacher and overseas. So it could be that maybe, but I don't really know. He's never really shown interest in like a preaching ministry. But I think he is really more into a helps type ministry.
Gotcha.
So we'll see. Thank the Lord he's debt free.
Yes.
So he can pretty much, yes. It's a miracle. He's debt free, and I'm pretty sure he'll graduate debt free too, and he won't be tied to
Right.
that. So and
Right.
he'll keep working at the MK office, I guess, until he decides where he'll go from
Mhm.
there.
That's awesome. Well, thank you
We'll
so
see.
much for taking time to do this. It was so good to
Oh,
catch
you're
up
so
with you.
welcome. It was fun to catch up too, just to see you and hear. And I did see something on Facebook about. I knew that there was something going on. That you had something kind of a worship thing. And I was thinking maybe it had to do with your schooling. And I thought, how fun that your family's there. And is your mom and dad? Are they all doing good? And your other sister?
They're doing good. They're doing really well.
They're
Yes,
all
ma'am.
still in Montgomery, right?
They are. They are.
Okay.
My parents
Okay.
have jobs in Troy now, though. I don't know if
Who
you.
does?
My parents.
No, I didn't. So did they commute to Troy?
Yes, ma'am.
That's not too far though, right?
No, it's not. But
Okay.
it's cool. I mean, that's the school where they met. They're working
Oh,
at the
is
university,
it?
so it's really cool.
And what are they doing at this? Are they working at the school in Troy?
Yes, ma'am. My mom is a secretary for the geospatial department or something. GPSs. They like do
Okay.
GPS
Uh
stuff.
huh.
I don't know. It's all sciencey stuff that I don't really understand.
Oh yeah.
And then my dad is teaching some math classes up there.
Well, that's cool. I didn't realize that. Well, I'm sure they're enjoying it too. Getting to see
Definitely.
all the different people. Well, that's really
Definitely.
neat.
It's cool.
Can I pray for you before we go?
Yes, ma'am.
Father God, thank you so much for Amelia Grace and her commitment to you. And God, I pray that you would continue to direct her path. Show her, Lord, what, where, when, who, and how that you would desire for her to go and to be. And Father, I pray that as she finishes up this semester and then her last semester, that Lord, it'll be a great time, that she will continue to bond with her friendships and with her classes. And I pray, God, that her mind and her heart will be continued to be open to you to lead and to guide her. Lord, I pray you provide for all of her financial needs, that you would do it by the power of your Spirit, and that you, Lord, would continue to awaken in her the resurrection power of Christ to continue to serve you and to do your will. In your precious name, I pray, Lord.
Thank you.
Amen. All right.
Thank
Love
you.
you, girl. You
All
take
right.
care.
See you.